Shout out to the brother Tahaka Bay of Moorish World TV. The brother's controlling his own media, his own platform. You know, I check him out Sunday nights. I know he live streams. I believe Wednesday nights as well. Ishmael Bay's been over there. Brother James YAHDAH, any closing statements? Anything you want to get on record before I turn it over to Kansu and then Gozi Atima Osiris?
Yes, sir. Again, I appreciate you, Brother Basim. Uh, Brother Ish, you have been adopted to the family. Brother Consul, the other members of Team Osiris, I appreciate you taking out time out of your busy schedule for this format. I just have some power pellets that I want to touch on real quickly, and then I'll yield the mic because I've been quiet for a while. Um, the first thing I wanted to clarify is to make sure that we get the definition of Aboriginal or indigenous. That was never actually covered in this discussion, and I'm putting it out there not for this evening, but I hope that we can get together another time and cover what is indigenous or Aboriginal or Aborigines. What are these people? Also, the other 6 points that I brought out during video as well, as they never hid who we were from us. But I wanted to drop a few scholars in here, and then I'll get to some points or some questions as to where we are. And this may cover what Brother Consul was mentioning on the various degrees when we're doing our research. But I wanted to give you some names with a little bit of degrees behind their names. Some of them have more degrees than a thermometer. Dr. Robert Keith Collins, he has a PhD in anthropology from UCLA. He's also was the curator of the Indivisible exhibit at the Museum of the American Indian, that is the Smithsonian Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C. He is of African and Choctaw descent. There's also Dr. Humberto Dixon, who is Tutelo, known as Tutelo Indians or indigenous people. Also Supane, and he touches on how these different tribes receive these names, these as you'll hear, sitting bull and wild horse and all these crazy names that Europeans gave them as a mockery. That his professor emeritus of the New York State University, and he's also the curator of the Indivisible exhibit. There's also Dr. Gabriel Tayak, that she received her BS in social work and American Studies from Cornell University. She's also has gone on and received her PhD, her master's and her PhD from Harvard. So these are some people that I like to throw out there, as well as the Choctaw scholar, Clara Sue Kidwell. And regarding linguistics, I wanted to also give a shout out to the late, great Dr. Clement Lynn. He was the professor over English studies at Purdue A&M. He was not only one of my mentors, he was also my friend. He transitioned last year, and I never had the opportunity to really say thank you to him before he made his transition. He left a plethora of works for me in my personal library, and I wanted to thank him and his family as well for being so generous. Now I can get to the list of things, or like I say, some bullet points, my power pellets, and I'll be done. Brother Ngozi has stated earlier, and I don't know if he's still in here, that not all dark-skinned people are from Africa. But doesn't this also support the claim that the Moors stating that they aren't African? Because if they are dark-skinned Moors, and you're saying that all dark-skinned people are not African, then we can't knock the Moors for saying they're not African. Also, the Spanish had several establishments in what we call North, Central, and South America called Montemoras. Montemoras in Spanish is more killers. But it's touched on this before. Now, if someone has been under rule for 700 plus years of a group of people, then don't you think they would know what a Moor looks like? So why would they not have these establishments named Montemoras or Moor killers if there were no dark-skinned people that looked like the Moors that they fought in Spain? Now, to end it this way, another point that was brought up is horticulture. We have to look at, study these plants, the trees, and also getting into the pottery. Brother Ish kind of touched on that as well. and you will see that there was an exchange that went from what we call the East and went into the Americas going east, because we haven't even touched on Peru yet. But we look at things from the perspective of a European, and we want to travel from West Africa and then go west into the Americas, and not looking at those from the east that followed the rising of the sun and ventured over here as well. So these are the things that we have to discuss. As the foundation has to be, what is indigenous, what is aboriginal, what is a native. Those are the things that we must touch on. And also, again, not to disrespect anyone, but it is disingenuous of us to say that we needed to neglect part of who we are in order to satisfy another category. And I am going to state boldly that all of us did not come over here on slave ships. Some of us met these slave ships on the shore. With that, I yield the mic.
All right, appreciate you, brother James YAHDAH. You know, you brought out some valid points. I want to state this real quick, then I'm going to give Team Osiris and, you know, extend honors to Ngozi and Kansu first as my guest of honor. I want to state this first.